Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of F1 23 Driver Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. It is officially off season here between season 4 heading into season 5. We have some new changes coming into the season. Of course, a brand new team, a few new liveries, several roster changes, a new calendar, as well as a brand new tire supplier with Bridgestone. And a lot of new things coming into this season, and you can see even with the regulation changes, it doesn't really change a single thing. So we made the right call going down to 16 races. I didn't think the regulation changes were really going to change much. Red Bull does move down a little bit, which of course is our team, but we're still dead even with, McLaren, Trackhouse, Ferrari, as well as Mercedes, and everybody else is playing catch up. To start off the season, we are quickly making some upgrades here at Red Bull Ford to try and, get some of those parts built back up that we lost between this season and last season with the regulation changes. Before we dive into the big changes, here's the new calendar that we are looking at for this season. So we kick it off with Australia and still end in Brazil. Sprints are still gone. We're not doing any sprint racing this season again, thank goodness. But Mexico is now round number 2, and then we head just north of the border from Mexico to the United States, and it's real close by. It's Circuit of the Americas there in Texas. Then we go to France, great race last season. Then we go to Monaco, of course, the crown jewel that you can't get rid of. Then we have the Chinese Grand Prix. We go home to Canada, Austria, as well as Silverstone. Then we have Belgium. Then we go to Monza, Japan, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, and Brazil to end the season. So we have a stretch of 3 night races there going into the season finale at Brazil beforehand. Here's the driver moves here. Of course, some big driver moves. The big one being Verstappen, of course, was looking for a change from Red Bull. He has moved on to Ferrari after Leclerc decided it was time to get out and head to the new Trackhouse Racing team. Lewis Hamilton has come out of a one-season retirement and will be alongside Max Verstappen in a very unexpected pairing at Ferrari, who aim to have a superstar lineup to get back on top this season. So Leclerc goes to Trackhouse, which means Tsunoda is out, who's gone to BMW, who replaces Felipe Drugovich, who is officially my teammate at Red Bull Racing Ford this season. Carlos Sainz as well going to BMW alongside Yuki Tsunoda there, as Iwasa is gone. Marcus Armstrong replaces Théo Pourchaire at the Alfa Romeo Haas team. Armstrong hops over to Formula 1 from IndyCar. Get a look right there at those Bridgestone tires, and they're groove tires. You're not really going to see much of the grooves when we're racing at speed, but they do look pretty cool when they're still. But of course, looking for a good season with Red Bull Ford after a few mechanical failures led to, some heartbreak for us last season. And of course, we came up short of a championship and got 3rd in the world title. Ferrari, like I said, we already talked about what their aim is. They're trying to win both championships this season, drivers and constructors, with Hamilton and Verstappen as their pairing. That's going to be a tough duo to handle. They might have some internal issues this season. Look at the brand new Mercedes livery. Lando Norris, George Russell, still their lineup there. They started the season strong, and then they just fell off in the midseason. They're looking for a big comeback this year, but no lineup changes, but a beautiful, beautiful livery with Monster Energy coming on board now as their primary sponsor. Alpine as well, no changes at all for Alpine in terms of livery or driver roster. They have not seen a driver roster change all series long, and we are now in season 5. This is a make or break year though for Alpine. We aren't going to dive into it yet, but stay tuned on that team as we focus in on the previous champions of the last season. You can see a brand new chassis and livery for McLaren with that pairing of Albon, who is now the World Drivers Champion, the defending World Drivers Champion, and of course McLaren, the Constructors Champions, as they will be pairing between Albon and of course Aiden Jackson. Both drivers had stellar seasons. BMW, brand new lineup we already talked about, of course, with Yuki Tsunoda as well as Carlos Sainz. Tsunoda leaving Aston Martin when they sold to Trackhouse, and Sainz, of course, just got dropped by Ferrari in their changes they decided to make after Leclerc left, so they will make up this BMW team. I think it's a good lineup that they got going on there. Alfa Romeo Haas, we already talked about a little bit. Pourchaire out, so they kept Lawson on board, but now as well Marcus Armstrong, the only rookie on the grid this season. Just like last season, we only had one or 2 rookies actually was on the grid. Callie Mare, of course, in for her second season at Connor Sport. Her brother Devin Butler remains on the team for now, as they are looking to, of course, try and make some continuous upgrades. This is a big season for those bottom 5 teams. I say we should pay close attention to what they are going to be able to do when it comes to upgrading their cars this season specifically. Williams Martini, they continue on with Zhou Guanyu as well as Jake Hughes. I felt like Jake Hughes did an okay job all season long. Zhou Guanyu really stepped it up last season after, of course, he missed a season, came back and really did a solid job. The brand new team and livery for Trackhouse Racing, you see it right there, owned, of course, by Justin Merckx. Absolutely beautiful car with Charles Leclerc as well as Oscar Piastri. I think this is going to be a threatening new team and lineup, and I'm excited to see, of course, what they are going to be able to do. And we would find out a little bit, in preseason testing. We're going to jump into preseason testing from Spain. We have some audio from myself and other drivers in how their cars are driving, so that's going to be an exciting part to kind of cap off this episode here. I'm not going to make this episode too long. It's going to be pretty short for you guys, short and sweet to kind of get to the point is what I like to do. I don't like to waste time. But I was pretty happy in these very early moments of driving this Red Bull Ford. No livery change for us because simply I couldn't find any other Red Bull Ford livery concepts on Race Department. But I was overall happy with how the car felt to kick off the preseason. It's good, guys. We're going to be right in the championship fight again this year. My goal is simple, but we'll talk about it a little bit later on. Ferrari on track, Verstappen and Hamilton. We got some radio from both drivers.
Car is good, guys.
I like what we have here. Let's keep working at it.
I am far too excited to watch this Hamilton and Verstappen pairing, a pairing you would never see in real life, and really I never thought we were going to have it in the game, but we made it happen now. But Ferrari drivers seem pretty happy. McLaren as well, sorry, not McLaren, Mercedes, a little bit of insight here from both drivers.
I don't know, guys. It feels like it did last year. Oh my god, guys, this is literal shit to drive.
Norris and Russell definitely struggling with confidence, and you can see they would actually, that was Russell with a spin in preseason testing. McLaren, they were looking right where they left off. They actually topped the charts in testing with their laps that they were putting down between Albon as well as Aiden Jackson. Now they're going to be tough to beat this season again here now. Trackhouse on track though for the first time this season in preseason. Let's get a little bit of insight from their superstar driver, Charles Leclerc.
Yes, guys, I love it. I love it. We're going to do big things this year.
Charles was right, guys. This car is great.
You hear Piastri's thoughts along with Leclerc. You heard a lot of drivers there. I'm really hoping we can use the driver voices to really drive a further story element through this season. But that was kind of the main focus on the main teams of preseason testing that, of course, we're paying attention to this season in the bottom 5. It's all about, do those bottom 5 teams unlock Spec 3 to a point where they can start to develop further? If they can do that early in the season, they can join this fight, and it would be absolutely insane if that actually happened, but we'll have to wait and see what goes on there. That, however, is preseason and off-season, whatever you want to call it, for our Season 4 transition into Season 5 for the F123 career mode. You guys, let me know down below what you like the most between the liveries, the roster changes, the calendar, the tires, and whatnot. There's a lot of different changes and a lot of things to look forward to going into Season 5, and I hope to kick it off tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Saturday. And I'll see you guys then for Episode 1 in Australia. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.